Hey guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Hana Kimura. It's really, if you don't know what happened, apparently she was doing some self harm that she posted on Instagram. And then people saw it, help was sent, but by the time people went to check up on her, it was already too late, and it turned out she had passed. If you don't watch Terrace House, there was an incident where she lost her temper at another housemate, and a lot of people judged her for that, um, me included. It was just that's what reality show is. You watch people and in their selected darkest moments, and you judge them. And it was bad. She was getting up to or more than 100 hate comments a day, and that's just totally unacceptable. We watch people for entertainment on these shows, and of course we can talk about them, but to actively try to make somebody feel bad, that's it's just it's not cool. But I think the more serious issue at hand is that how do we prevent this from happening in the future? And it's a mental health issue. There's so much stigma around people feeling unwell, being unwell on the inside. It's all of these scars and wounds that people can't see. And she needed help. And people kicking her while she was down definitely wasn't helping. Quarantine wasn't helping. Um, I wanted to share what some of her roommates were saying, and she was really loved by a lot of people, but all it takes is a few bad apples to make you feel like shit. And me being on YouTube, I don't really have a huge presence, but a couple of my videos have gotten a lot of views, and with a lot of views, a lot of eyes comes a lot of comments. So I've firsthand felt attacked. When you give your opinion about something, when you show who you are, even if you try your best to put on an armor or an act, it still cuts deeply. Because if you have empathy, if you're a person and someone's saying something to you, you take it in. You can't understand what they're saying unless you are feeling it. So when somebody is telling you you're crap or you're wrong, or you're a disgrace to your kind, or how could you do that, it makes you feel shitty. And I always prided myself in not really thinking too much about what other people think, or at least people that are unimportant in my life. But when I made a Wandering Earth review that a lot of people disagreed with, people threw a lot of personal attacks at me. And it really hurt. And I'm very lucky that I'm not wired in the way that I would get depressed. I don't really get depressed, but I know people do. There are certain things that trigger me like crazy that don't trigger other people. But with comments, I felt like shit, and I empathize with people that would feel like they're stuck in a hole. But luckily, I'm too busy, and I have too much other stuff going on. And again, I'm just wired differently. We're all wired differently. Some people love fried chicken. Some people can't stand it. Some people, when they are under attack, it just puts them in the sunken place. And some people, it goes in out one ear and out the other. So I just want to remind everyone that just please be kind. And it's not just when it's convenient to you. Kindness is most important when you see somebody do what you think is terrible. When you think somebody is a terrible person, which is what people thought about Hannah or Hana in that one scene, because yeah, from some perspectives, she wasn't in the right. She lost her temper. But we all have those moments, and we don't know what they're going through. So when somebody even if they're a celebrity, even if they have $1 billion, $1 trillion, they're still made up of the same things you and I are made out of. They're no different from you and I. And we just need to remember that. It doesn't matter if they're in front of a TV screen. It doesn't matter if they've done something terrible. Kindness, that's the only way we can stop this stuff, is to not be so cruel to each other, and to remember that they're people, and that we can only see a glimpse of who they are at any given time. And that also applies to people close to you. We can't really know for 100% where their heart is or where their intention is. It's all assumptions. So I think that the most beneficial way of moving forward, and this applies to just society in general, it's just we've lost our ability, or we've lost the thread of what connects us. And there's just so much so much division, however you want to spread it, whether it's by race, whether it's by sexuality, political preference, by favorite foods, by how you work out. People are just dividing, when we're all the same. And kindness is a universal virtue that is very helpful. And we have to stop stigmatizing mental health and mental illnesses. Even saying mental illness makes it sound so serious, but it shouldn't be that serious. It's something we all have to deal with. It's something that has made this fitness revolution so popular. Everyone's working on their bodies, but it's because they're trying to fix something on the inside. Everything we do on the outside is trying to fix something on the inside. It's just more important than ever, especially now that we're in this new world where quarantine is a thing, where COVID-19, reminds us that we can't even see each other. We might not even be able to touch each other. And people are going to keep retreating inward for safety, but that's only going to exacerbate people feeling down, people not feeling like they're connected, that they're unloved. So now more than ever, we have to be careful. We have to be kind. This was really devastating because I've seen the show and all the episodes she was in. I feel like I really know her, and it could be any one of us. When you watch Terrace House, what makes it so fun and now so tragic is because we feel like we know them. And yeah, some people are painted out to be villains, some are better than others, but they're real people. It's engaging because even if you're not consciously aware, subconsciously, they're part of us. They reflect us. What gets us angry about a character is actually what we don't like in ourselves. Otherwise, it wouldn't elicit such a reaction. That's why people are bothered by different things. It's just everything is a mirror. So really, I'm repeating myself, but I think it's so important. The more love you put out, the more love you can receive. And that's really what we need right now. Let's stop judging people. I really hope we can learn from this. And again, if you are feeling down in a way that you can't climb yourself out, please seek help. Talk to someone. Professional help. The internet is not... The internet is like a loaded gun. It's so powerful, but it's also so dangerous. We need to just be kind. Please, let's try to be kind. And I'm going to try harder too. I hope everyone's doing okay. That's all I wanted to say. Actually, no, I wanted to read some comments that I think just put it into perspective a little bit. So this is from Ryo, and Ryo was a person that she had a crush on who didn't reciprocate her feelings, and it was fun. for a lot of people to trash on this guy because he seemed like a fuckboy. And if you're not familiar with the term, it's just some guy who plays with a girl's feelings but can't commit. But there is this instinct that, oh, because he might have broken her heart, let's blame him. Let's not blame anybody. Again, this is a mental health issue, and we don't really know everything that's happened, and pointing fingers doesn't really help. So, but this is Ryo's post. He remarks that I should have been more considerate to her feelings. We could have understood each other rather than being stubborn. If I could have expressed my honest feelings, I could better understand her. And I remember when we went to the hot springs and you cooked food when I was feeling down from my injuries. I remember you winning the match when we watched a boring horror movie. And this is the point that I appreciate him saying. I quote, it's a rough translation. I am not a celebrity or anything, but just an athlete. I know that hate comments would come when I entered Terrace House. There are people who told me to suck it up because that's the outcome of being famous. But is it really true? I am getting hate comments here and there every single day, but I try not to care. But there are people who cannot do that. Every single Terrace House member see the comments and suffer. And everyone should understand that. I just don't understand how people can do that to someone that they've never met before. Do you think you are a perfect human being? Do you know that people are putting their best effort to live their life? You don't know the past that we've been through. Even now, at this moment, I still see hate comments. Just stop and live your life. Um, that statement, I think, rings very true to me, and it's a lot of what I was trying to say. Um, Especially the line, do you know that people are putting their best effort to live their life? Um, I think that's important because if you're in someone's shoes, I mean, everyone wants to be happy, but it's just not easy for some people to do that. Even Rhonda Rousey made a statement about it. She also experienced a lot of bullying, and she's in a similar position as her, where she's this woman with who does fighting. It's not really a classic feminine woman type of role, and she experienced just a lot of hate because of how she looks, because of her attitude, and again, even when I saw her, some things she did in the past, I judged her, of course, but I never sent any hate towards her. And those are all just feelings in the moment. It's okay to have opinions about somebody, but to want to hurt somebody, that's when it crosses the line. And this is what really, hurt Hana. But I'm going to read a little bit of Rhonda's statement. Cyberbullying is very real and growing threat to us as a society. Succumbing isn't weakness, it's human. We have evolved to feel as if our lives depend on social acceptance because the majority of human history, our survival has depended on our social groups and standing within them. I know the trolls spend their days harassing others online, are battling their own mutual demons, but please find a way to release your venom in a way that won't poison others. Even a straw's weight can be the one to break a camel's back. Just the tiniest push could be what sends someone over the edge. Be the kindness you wish you received. Instead of malice and neglect, you're trying to pay back. Don't pass it on. Protect the world from what you've had to endure instead of spreading it. Bullies, people that are spreading hate, I feel sorry for them. We all should. We should feel sorry for each other. People that hurt people are people that have been hurt. So, as much as it sounds like I'm hating on the bullies, which is a justified feeling, they are also victims. We're all victims. We're all bullies. We're all the same. Um, Rhonda gets it more than anyone. I mean, this statement I think is really spot on. Find a way to release your anger some way else. Ideally, you would work on yourself instead of commenting on somebody's Instagram and telling them they're a terrible person. But if not, just wrestle, exercise, get fit, yell into a pillow. Don't post on somebody's Instagram. Yeah, I think those are all. The other house members have made comments. You can go to our Terrace house to see them, but I think the two statements by Ryo and Rhonda were really good. Yeah, it's just really sad because we all know people with mental health issues. We all know people that have been bullied. And I'm sure those people that did the bullying also know people that this has happened to, or it's happening to them. And you think you're doing something right, like you want to tell somebody that they're a bad person because maybe you actually want to help them change in some positive way. And that's the irony of bullying. I don't think they really think they're evil people. They're just calling it like it is. But if you want to help someone, you do it with compassion. And think about how you would want somebody to tell, your spouse or a sibling. How would you want them to help them to change? Or yourself. Does shaming really help? Does hate really help? I don't think it does. And that doesn't mean, you're soft or you lie. It just means, you do it with love. And you can still be direct. You don't have to be an asshole. But I'm kind of rambling now, but yeah, that's all I had to say. I hope everyone's doing okay, and I don't know what's going to happen to Terrace House, and it's very, very sad. But please reach out if you need anything. I'll attach some hotline numbers down below, and yeah, let's just be kinder to each other.